What's up, my poker players? Hope y'all are killing it on the tables today. Quick balance update on the 100K challenge. As you can see here on the screen, the account is up to 327 in less than 6 days, starting for 50 bucks. I've just been running hot. I'm going to show you some Hold'em Manager graphs, and we're going to take a look at what's been going on and whether you can expect this type of return over and over. My guess is probably not, but I'm going to take it for now because I'm building a bankroll quick, and that's what I got to do. I got to move up limits as quick as possible and get into the bigger games because that's where you're going to make more money. Let's open up Hold'em Manager and see what we can learn today. All right, let's take a look at a session graph here on Hold'em Manager. As you can see, I won 47.73 over 1,294 hands, which comes out to 17.11 big blinds per 100, which is a very high win rate. You can't expect that all the time, but because I'm playing the lower limits right now, the game is a little bit easier, so I'm going to have a higher win rate at these tables. Let's look at the four lines that are represented on this graph. The red line, the bottom line, is a non-showdown line that is upsloping for me, which is usually the opposite way. So it shows that I played a very aggressive session and that I was winning a lot of pots before the showdown. For me, I usually want to keep that as close to zero as possible and then showdown well. You can see my showdown line is slightly above the non-showdown line, and when those two lines are combined, that's what adds up to your net one line. And the fourth line, the orange line on here, is the all-in equity value. So when you go all in and you have aces against kings, your all-in equity value is going to be much higher. And if, let's say that player hits a king and you lose with your aces, the equity value line will increase and show you where your statistical mean should be, and the net one will be much lower. So you can anticipate being closer to that equity value line. All in all, this was a very good session for me. If you wish to download Hold'em Manager and America's Card Room, I put the links down in the video description. Go down there, check it out. Now let's look at the session from the following night, where somehow I managed to outperform the previous session, which I didn't even think was possible. But I was running well, getting good hands. Take a look at that. There is hardly any going down. I don't think I lost. It actually says there that the biggest pot that I lost was $1.92, and the biggest win was $23.26. That's incredible. That means I'm getting in big pots with the best hands, which is exactly what you want to do, and that's what I base my game off of. You can see that the non-showdown line was down sloping. I was down over 200 big blinds, but I was winning the big pots, and that's really where you're going to make the most of your money. You still want to get that non-showdown line as close to zero as possible. Again, this is not what the normal graph is going to look like. I was just running really hot. I'm going to have a losing session in here too, and I'll show you when it happens and how to adjust your game. But let's look into some other great Hold'em Manager features. All right, now we're going to look at some statistical analysis and other great things that Hold'em Manager offers. If you click on the report section, cash, and then there is a full ring position tab here, and it will open up all the positions on the full ring table, and you can see how you play from each position. So you can actually work on your positional awareness and how to play from where you're winning money, where you're losing money, why you're losing money, and fix leaks in your game so that you can make more on the tables. The first thing that I did was went up to the date range and did after Monday, May 16th is when I began the 100K challenge. So I put that in as a custom date range, which is in there right there. And so you can see how many hands I've played, what the net one is, the big blinds. So what we're going to focus on now is the portion here where I am losing the most money, which is the small blind. So something has to change here because I am leaking out 24 big blinds per 100 hands, which isn't good. Just looking at this compared to my other numbers, I'm playing more from my small blind than I am from the button, which is never a good sign because you want to be playing as much from the button as possible because that is the best position on the table to play from. So I'm going to have to change that. Also, just looking at the button, my aggression is really low right here, where it should probably be the highest on the table. Maybe because the total number of hands isn't that high yet. I haven't even reached 1,000 in any of these categories yet, so that could be part of the reason why. Looks like I have pretty good numbers besides that. I'm winning from pretty much every position. But this is a great area. You can go here and look at it and see where you're losing from, where you're winning from, and adjust your game. There's actually a lot more stats that you can put on here too. You can click the stat button here, and the list is crazy how in-depth it gets. Play around with it. There's a ton of things you can do to look into your game and improve your game. One last thing I want to show is how I adjusted my HUD settings to be more exact. So you click on the HUD settings and on the HUD filter tab, and I'm going to adjust for the number of players so it's more exact. The HUD adjusts itself to only show stats for these individual range of players, so that I don't have a full ring, a table with 9 players, the same as a heads-up table, the same stats as a heads-up table. Because you have to adjust your game with the number of players that are on a table at any given time. So I'm just going to go through here and put it so it's accurate with the number of players on each table. This is going to limit the amount of hands I have on each person, but it's just going to be a lot more accurate so that I can read people better when playing at the table, so I know how people adjust on a short-handed table or a full ring table. Hope you learned something today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with any friends who might find interest in it. You have to have Hold'em Manager if you're playing online. I cannot stress that enough. Go down to the video description. I have a link for Hold'em Manager. Click that, download it, and check out the link for America's Card Room, which is the only place I play, and where I'm doing my $50 to 100K challenge. Thanks for watching, my poker players. See you out on the virtual felt.